Well, congratulations on this movie. It's so wonderful. I really loved it. How did you get
Thank
involved with this project?
I am a producer. I've produced a few movies, and the last movie that I produced, Susan Kent, the screenwriter, was the lead, one of the leads in that movie. And we really bonded in that process. And I was really craving to direct something, to get back to directing, and she was craving to write something. So it kind of just happened like that. We got a little bit of development money. And we both bonded over the fact that we love messy women. We love messy characters. And we like people to sit in discomfort of messy women sometimes. So that's kind of the jumping off point. And then it was really shaped by a lot of the women and the people in Susan's life. And we developed it for a couple of years and shot it last year.
Jamie is such a chaotic but very likable character, very empathetic character. There's often pressure to show women a certain way and they have to have their shit together. But it's so refreshing to see a project like this, to see a character like this being able to kind of unapologetically make mistakes and just live life. How important was that to you to make that kind of story?
Yeah, I think it was essential. I think like I really crave stories where characters come from something. Like I love Scorsese movies where there was that challenge to understand why people make the decisions they make or how they've ended up where they end up. And I think with Jamie, where we meet her, there is this like what a hot mess, but then starting to slowly pull away like how she possibly got there and the people in her life and the cycles of trauma and drama that she's been through. I think that's like coming at it through a lens of empathy is sort of was paramount to Susan and and I think just like as humans, that was the story we wanted to tell.
Well, like this movie is so funny, but again, it's very deep. There's so many really deep moments. How do you balance like showing that empathy towards this character and also kind of providing some of the more comical elements?
Yeah, I think it was a decision that we made that we wanted it to like when I was reading the script, I really felt like it was like a roller coaster ride that I couldn't get off of. And a lot of the times I was having a great time, and other times when she's, deep in a conversation with her mother that's so uncomfortable. I wanted the audience to have that feeling of having this like witness to her life and to probably the worst few days of her life. And so that was something that we navigated tonally and with my DP and then with my editor. It was like really trusting those long takes that we did and really letting the audience sit in the discomfort or the like absurdity or the just kind of universality of the moment that she's going through. But it was very deliberate because I also feel like that's life. Like in the deepest tragedy, there's so much funny, and then there's also so much sadness in life too. So it was something that we wanted to keep navigating up until the end.
So
Yeah.
the cast of this movie is phenomenal. I love everyone. I was especially excited to see Jimbo in here from RuPaul's Drag
Yes,
Race.
yeah.
How did the casting come about for this project?
The casting was very deliberate, just to your point about like trying to like keep the funny and the dramatic moments and the drama and the funny moments. We actually cast a lot of comedians or actors who are mostly in the comedy space, and a lot of them are playing roles like very outside of type. Like the guy who plays Steve is Jonathan Torrance, who's a brilliant comedic actor, but he's playing this guy that he's never really played before. So that was definitely a choice that we made that we wanted to just like have this 3D experience to these people. And Robin Duke, who plays Susan Kent's mom, is a comedy legend. She was on SNL, she was on SCTV with Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy, and I really loved the like just the again the empathy that she brought to this very very challenging woman. She brought so much love to her, so like she wasn't judging her. And so yeah, I think that we were just looking for people that we could think that could really sink their teeth into these characters. And Jimbo was such a gift. Like we knew we wanted We wanted someone in Bonbon. Bonbon's one of the most caring characters in the movie, and we wanted to like have a surprise in there, but also show a little bit of what Jamie's life is like when it's not falling apart. So we were so lucky to have Jimbo. They flew from LA to the east coast of Canada and were there for 48 hours. And you know, in that scene, the entire kind of queer community of PEI came out and were like very, very starstruck on Jimbo. It was a great day.
So, as
Yeah.
a filmmaker, what kind of influences like kind of brought together the aesthetic of this film? What were you kind of drawing from different influences?
Had intended, I love oneers. So I had really been thinking a lot in the development of this movie to like lean into to one shots. A lot of my favorite directors, they had that sensibility. But then things like The Studio came out and Adolescence came out, and I was like, you know what? I think I should just it's my first movie as a director, so I started referring to the takes as tours. So I was just like taking everything from one side of the action. We'd cover everything on one perspective, like a really difficult conversation that happens between Jamie and her mother. We did the 7-page scene from one side and then the other, and again, I think taking a lot of inspiration from directors like Scorsese and others who just let us sit in those moments and get to know the awfulness, but also the surprise of these people. So those are kind of the influences I was looking at.
So, what
And
does it mean to y'all to premiere this at South by Southwest?
it means everything. The first time I went to South by Southwest was in 2018, and I absolutely fell in love with the festival. It was the kind of like the programming was just the type of movie that I wanted to watch, and I did like promise myself that I really wanted to screen a movie there someday. So making The Snake, it felt in sensibility like a South by movie. It felt like just tonally something that would probably have an audience at South by. So we actually catered the entire post process to the South by Southwest deadline so that we could get it in on time. So it really means the world to us. It's the first world premiere from this region of Canada that we're coming from. So it's really special on a lot of levels.
So, what's one thing that you hope the audience takes away from this story?
Want people to have some grace. I think that what I love about Jamie is that you could start thinking that she's such a chaos and hot mess, but at the end of the movie, it feels like everyone around her is just kind of fucked up and she's doing the very best. And I think if we took that lens with each other, a lot of the time, then it might be a good thing for the world. So I think that just like having a little grace with each other.